This is the sixth and final lesson on the topic of algebraic expressions, functions and iteration with me, Mr. Riley. In today's lesson we'll learn how to solve quadratic equations and add and subtract algebraic fractions. Here are the stages to today's lesson. First of all, we will factorise and solve quadratic expressions where integer coefficients of x squared are not 1. Then we will look at adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. Then we will do tick or trash, followed by problem solving on algebraic expressions and equations. In higher extension today, we will solve equations with algebraic fractions. Explanation. Factorising expressions of the form x squared plus bx plus c. So what we've done up to now is factorise things like this and like this. And what we'll look at here is using the techniques we use to factorise both. So the second one, that's just where we box that, and then you can refer to the start of the lesson with the prior knowledge. We did that last lesson. We get our common factor of x out, and then we write that in the bracket. And then the other one we've got, let me just rub that away. This is where we get the factor pair of 20. But what really conscious of where we should really do AC, or this 1 times 20, and get the factor pairs of 20 out. But we don't bother with that because 1 times anything is itself. We just go straight from here. It's not, that step's not necessary. But it is necessary here because 2 times 3 is not 3. I can't just go straight and get the factor pairs of 3 out. So that's what we should do. So 2 times 3 is 6. I've got 1 times 6, 2 times 3 are my factor pairs. What can I use to put together to make 7? 1 and 6. And just double check that. 1 plus 6 is 7. And 2 times 3 is 6. That works. This 2x squared just drops down, and so does the plus 3. And my 7x breaks up into the 1x and 6x. And these two expressions are the same. So 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to 2x squared plus 1x plus 6x plus 3. And now I write that underneath. Give myself some space. I could have written this 1x and 6x the other way around, but in general it helps if this is the smaller of the two terms, and if I've got a negative I'll put that there. If you've got two negatives then you don't have a choice. And I box that up now and factorise it. So I've got x is a common factor to both terms. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times 1 is 1x. And then I go over here, box that up. Common to both sides is 3. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 1 is 3. And now just write those brackets out like we've done before. Like so. Really crucial at this stage is that these two are the same. I just write that out like so. And let's just make that plus a bit smarter, eh? Actually that equals 2. Let's say that x2. And then my second bracket is those two terms there, and that question is done. We're finished with that. Let's look at the next one with a negative. 2 times 6 is 12. Factor pairs of 12. 1 times 12. 2 times 6. 3 times 4. I've gone systematically. What factor pair can I make 7 with? Looks like the 3 and 4. Let's just check that, especially with a negative. So this was positive 12. And I need minus 3, take away 4 is minus 7. That works. minus 3 times minus 4 is positive, is equal to positive 12. So that checks out. So I'd write this out again. The 2x squared drops, the 6 drops. I've got two negatives this time, so much of a muchness, but I'll put the minus 4 here and the minus 3 there. Minus 4 is smaller than minus 3. Now we write out again underneath. Minus 4x, leave a gap, plus 6. Box that one up, like so. What's common to both? I've got x, but I've also got 2. So it's 2x, I must get the highest common factor out. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x, but it's a negative. Let's go over here, box that one up. Now, what I can use, this is helpful with these negatives, is I know, as long as I've got the highest common factor out, that should be the same. And because it's tempting just to put 3 here, but if I did that, then you'd get minus x, and we know that these two should be the same. So where I've got two negatives, it's generally helpful to look at it this way. So now, x times what is minus 3x, and that is minus 3. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Minus 3 times minus 2 is positive 6, and that works out. So we've got 2x bracket x minus 2, and then our second bracket is minus 3 bracket x minus 2. We use that trick of knowing these two should be the same. It will not work if you've not got the highest common factor at any stage. So that's my first bracket, that's my second, and that is done. Let's have a go at some questions on the next slide. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. Starting out, we do 4 times 15 is 60. A lot of factor pairs of 60, 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, and 6 times 10. Which factor pair can I use to make 16? It's the last one, 6 and 10. Check. 6 plus 10 is 16. 6 times 10 is 60. Okay, that all checks out. And what we need to do is drop that 4x squared, drop that 15, and we recall 16 gets broken up into the 6x and the 10x. Make sure when you drop that 15 you take that sign with it. Okay, and now we write that out again down here where I've got some space, leave a gap, and box up the first one. X goes into both, but 2x is the highest common factor. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. Box up the second one. What goes into both sides? It's 5. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 3 is 15. And we write those out again. So 2x bracket 2x plus 3 for my first one. 5 bracket 2x plus 3 for the second one. These are the same. That's my crucial check. That's my first bracket. And there goes my second. That's done. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. First of all, we need to do 8 times minus 3, minus 24. Just get the factor pairs of 24 for now. Got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. That's our factor pairs. What can I put together to make 2? Probably 4 and 6, but I need to check for sure. So that will be a minus 6. 4 take away 6 is minus 2. And just double check that. 4 times minus 6. 4 times 6 is 24. A positive and a negative is a negative, which is what we have. Brilliant. I've got 8x squared drops. Let's try and make that a bit neater, eh? 8x squared drops. The minus 3 drops. And now I split that up. Remember, if I can, it's easier if I plonk that negative over here, because I've got 4 and 6, but it's much easier to deal with the positive 4 over here. Let's write that again underneath. You've got 8x squared minus 6x plus 4x minus 3. I've left a gap. Let's box that up like so. What goes into both? X, but 2x is the highest common factor. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x, but it's a minus. And now I go over here. Well, that's a bit odd, because nothing really goes into there. But look, that's 4x minus 3. So this should be 4x minus 3. So it's just 1. If we see 1 is actually the highest common factor there. So we write that out again. 4x minus 3, write out in bracket form, plus 1, 4x minus 3. This was the same, which was important. And then we get our second bracket out, like so. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Solving quadratic equations. So even though it says solve, what we actually have to do first of all is to factorize. Make sure it's equal to 0 or this will not work. So I have x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. So let's get the factor pairs of 12 out. I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. What can I use to make 7? That's 3 and 4. I check. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 3 times 4 equals 12. So that fits both of those. So I'm simply going to have x plus 3 and x plus 4. Read it again. I've got that equal to 0. So that's the first difference compared with just your regular factorization. Now whenever we multiply anything by 0, it's 0, and these two brackets multiply together. So to solve the equation, what I'm saying is, for example, x plus 3 could be equal to 0. And now just solve that. The opposite of plus 3 is to subtract 3. So we get x is equal to minus 3. Okay? And that's one solution. And my other one would be x plus 4 equals 0. And that's the second bracket. And opposite of plus 4 is to take 4. So x is equal to, let's use my colours consistently, x is equal to minus 4. Let's make that equals a bit clearer too. Okay, and we'd write that down as x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to minus 4. There are two solutions. The reason why there's two, think of the square root of 64. Well, that could be plus 8, because plus 8 plus plus 8 is 64. 2 positive makes a plus 8 times 8 is 64. But also we've got minus 8. Minus 8 times minus 8 is plus 64 because 2 negatives is a positive. So quite often, unless you've got a repeated root, you are getting 2 solutions. Let's look at this one. 2 and 6. Now I need to multiply those to get 12. Get the factor pairs of 12. 1 and 12. 2 and 6. 3 and 4. Which pair am I going to put together to make 7? I can see that's going to be the 3 and the 4. I can check. Minus 3 take away 4 is minus 7. Minus 3 times minus 4 is positive 12, and that's what we've got, positive 12, because you had positive 2 times positive 6. So now break that up. Minus 4x minus 3x. 2x squared drops, and that is equal to 0. And what have I missed out? I missed out that 6, haven't I? 6 drops as well, equal to 0. So this is the importance of go back to the start and read it again, because it's very easy. You've got so many things to copy, it's very easy to miss one out. So now I'm going to copy that out again. I've got 2x squared minus 4x, leave a gap, minus 3x plus 6, and I factorise this one. What goes into both? 2 and x, so that's 2x. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x, and that's got to be negative. Let's do the other one. Now that minus 3x is going to cause us issues, but we should know the top of those should be the same, so that'll be x minus 2 as well. So look, this is x minus 2, so that's got to be x minus 2 as well for it to work. X times what is 3? It's 3x. So x times 3 is 3x, but that's going to be negative. And then let's go with plus 6. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 negatives gives us a plus, so that works. So let's write that out now. That 2x could be been a bit smarter, so let's make it a bit smarter. So we've got 2x, x minus 2, minus 3 bracket x minus 2, and that bracket is the same. So we get x minus 2 is a bracket, and 2x minus 3 is another one. And that is equal to 0. So we've got x minus 2 is equal to 0, and we've got 2x minus 3 equals 0. And now we have to solve both of those. So the first one, x minus 2, opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. So we get x is equal to 2. And the next one, we got opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. 2x equals 3. Opposite of times by 2 is divide by 2. And there's our answers. Okay, both of them. X equals 2 and x is equal to 3 over 2. Let's have a go at the next slides. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. Solve x squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. So we're first of all going to get out the factor pairs of 15. So I've got 1 and 15, 3 and 5. What can I use to put together to make 8? It's the 3 and the 5. I check that. Minus 3 take away 5 is minus 8. Minus 3 times minus 5 is positive 15. Okay, so my check works. So just break that up. I've got x minus 3, x minus 5. Read the question again. We've got equals 0, so we need to make this equal to 0. So first of all, I've got x minus 3 is equal to 0. Opposite, the inverse of minus 3 is to add 3. So we get x equals 3. That's one of our roots. And we have x minus 5 equals 0 from our second bracket now. So opposite of take away 5 is to add 5. And we get x equals 5. And now I've got my two solutions. We have x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 5, and those are our solutions. And now we've answered the question. So even though it says solve, what you've got to do is factorize, then we can solve it. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. Solve 3x squared plus 13x minus 10 equals 0. First step, and multiply these two together. So that gives me minus 30. 3 times 10 is 30, minus and a positive is a minus. So I get factor pairs of 30 out. I've got 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and then we've got 5 and 6. I want to make 13. Now it's not obvious whether I'm going to use the 3 and the 10 or the 2 and the 15, so let's do our check. 2 and 15, so that will be 15 minus 2 is 13. And if I just double check that, 15 times minus 2 is minus 30, and that's what we have. If I try to use the 10 and the 3, 3 plus 10 is 13, but when I multiply that together it'll give me plus 30, not minus. So now I split that 13 up. Remember, if you've got just one negative, put that one over here, that will help us. And then our other one is 15, minus 2 and 15. Our 3x squared falls down, our 10 falls down, and that's equal to 0. We just read it again to make sure I've not missed anything out. So now next job is I write that out again. So I've got 3x squared minus 2x plus 15x minus 10, and I box up the first expression. What's common to both sides? Just x goes into both of those, isn't it? So I've got x bracket 3x minus 2, and then looks at the second one. What goes into both 15x and 10? It's 5. So 5 times 3x is 15x, and 5 times 2 is 10. I'll just write that a little bit neater. I'll just rub away my check for a second. So we've got that clearly. So minus 2. Okay. So now what I do is just write that out. So I've got x bracket 3x minus 2 plus 5 bracket 3x minus 2. That's the same, that's what we expect, so I'll write that out again. We've got 3x minus 2, and our other one is x plus 5. And that is all, read it up again, equal to 0. So now I solve that, so I've got 3x minus 2 equals 0. Let's just use the colour so we see it a bit clearer. 3x minus 2 equals 0. So now I've got opposite of minus 2 is plus 2, so 3x equals 2. Opposite of times by 3, divide by 3. So there's one of my solutions, x equals 2/3. My other way I could have gone is x plus 5 equals 0. Opposite of plus 5 is to take 5. So you have x equals minus 5. And now I can write that out neatly. So you've got x equals, from here, 2/3, and x equals minus 5, and that's now complete. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. If I look at that first one there, I can see I've got 1/4 plus 1/6, and we did that in the prior knowledge. So we can sort of think about the lowest common multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. And we sort of say, right, I've got to do 6 times 2 is 12. So I've got to do 1 times 2. Whatever I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. And that's 2, and then I go to the other side, I do 4, and I multiply that by 3 is 12, so I need to do 1 times 3 is 3, and then I simply add that together. Now people don't often always spot the lowest common multiple, so they might just go 4 and 6 is 12, and the way we go around it is go, because we've done 4 times 6, I need to do 1 times 6, which is 6, and we go the other way, so because I've done 6 times 4, I need to do 1 times 4, which is 4. And that's okay. I get 6 over 4 is 10 over 12, which is 5 over 6. Seems like a little bit more working out. And if I consider, for example, 3/4 minus 1/6 plus 3/8 at a minus a half. If I use this method here, then that's going to take me ages to do, because I'll have to do the 3/4, take away 6, get the answer, then add on 3/8. Whereas if I use lowest common multiple, all of those go into 24. So I could do that pretty quick. How many 4s go into 24? 6, so 3 times 6, 18. And then 6 times 4 is 24, so that's 4. 8 times 3, so I'll go 3 times 3. And 2 times 12, so 1 times 12. And, you would just literally put that together. So, I've got 18, take away 4 is 14, plus 9 is 23, take away 12 is 11, so that'll just be 11 over 24. LCM, much faster route here. Now if I look at the one on the right, the algebraic expression, seeing the lowest common multiple of these two, 3x and 6x plus 2, is really difficult. So actually this method for adding and subtracting algebraic fractions comes in quite handy. So that's the method that I'm going to show you. Lowest common multiple for some algebraic fractions still has its place, and we'll look at that later on. So we've got 3x times, we need to put in a bracket, 6x plus 2. And unless you're solving, you don't normally, or unless it asks, you don't need to expand that, what I've just written in green. And then I do 1 times this expression. Be careful though, you do need that bracket, so don't make that mistake I've just done. So 6x plus 2, and then plus, that one's not clear, is it? That was 1 times that bracket, plus, and then I've got here 5 times 3x is 15x. So next job for me to do, and this is all equal. I need to expand that bracket out, so 1 times 6x, 6x, 1 times 2 is 2, and I've still got that 15x, and we are still adding it, and then underneath I've got 3x, 6x plus 2 still, and now I just collect together like terms, so the 6x and the 15x are like terms, so that's 21x, still got the plus 2, and still got the denominator, and that question is now finished. Let's have a practice on the next few slides. Press pause and try the example questions, then press play and I will answer the examples with you. So first of all, we can multiply our denominators, so 3 times 4 is 12. And I want to multiply, because I've done 4 times the 3, I need to do this times the 3. So I've got 3 bracket 2x plus 4 plus, and because I've done 3 times 4, I need to do this expression times 4. So I've got 4 bracket x plus 5. And my denominator for the next line will stay the same, so I've still got 12. Let's expand the bracket. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 4 is 12. Let's multiply the next bracket out. 4 times x is 4x. That's a positive. 4 times 5 is 20. That's a positive. Now collect together like terms. Still got that 12. got 6x plus 4x, and that's going to be 10x. And then I go the other way, I've got 12, and let's use a different colour, 12 plus 20, and that will be 32. And that's my answer. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. So first of all, we'll multiply the denominators together. So let's put in our line. We've got x plus 5 and 2x minus 2. That's our denominator. We multiply those brackets together. I've got x times 2x minus 2. We've got a negative then, and 7 times x plus 5. Just extend that. We then can multiply that out and then simplify. So let's just write that down again. X plus 5, 2x minus 2. So we've got x times 2x is 2x squared. X times minus 2 is minus 2x. 7 times x is 7x, and we got a negative, positive, negative, make a negative. 7 times 5 is 35, positive, negative, make a negative. What can I put together? I can see I've got the minus 2 and the minus 7, so that makes minus 9. Minus 35 stayed the same, 2x squared stayed the same. Oops, let's be consistent with our colours. And that was my denominator. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. So first of all, I'm going to multiply those two together. So I've got 2x, x plus 1, and that's our denominator, and then our numerator, we're going to first of all put that in a bracket. I've got 4x plus 2 times 2x. Again, I'm going to put the 2x on the outside of the bracket. And then other one, I've got 5 times x plus 1. I've got a negative there. Let's multiply out. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x, that's positive. 5 times x is 5x, positive and a negative make a negative. 5 times 1 is 5, that's a negative. All divided by same denominator, 2x, x plus 1. Now we collect together like terms, so I can see the 4 take away 5 gives me minus 1. That's my only. And then we've got minus 5 there, falling down, all divided by our same denominator. And there we go. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Press pause and try the example questions. Then press play and I will answer the examples with you. let's use my method again. We've got 6 times 2 is 12. Then we've got 5x times 2x is 10x. We've got 6 times x minus 1, like so. We're adding those together. Let's go underneath. We've got 12. I've got that 10x still. Then we've got 6 times x is 6x. 6 times 1 is 6. That's a negative because positive and a negative, and this first one was a positive. And can I collect together like terms? Yes. I've got 6. I've got 6x add 10x is 16x. Take away 6. Now there's an issue here because I can simplify this, and quite often they'll say simplify fully. What I can see is every single term, and it's important, is every single term has a common factor of 2. So what I can do there is cancel. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. So this would actually be my final answer. Sorry, not 6, it's now 3, isn't it? All over 6. Now I can't divide 3 by 3, even though I've got 6 there, because the 8 doesn't have a common factor of 3. Another way that that can be done, and that's important if you've got algebraic expressions, is I could have placed that 16x minus 6 into a bracket. So if we look, 2 goes into both, so that would be the same as 2 bracket 8x minus 3 all divided by 12. And again, I can see I can take out a factor of 2, so that's 1. Take out a factor of 2, which is 6, and this step would be necessary just in case. And yeah, we've got the same answer, so it's fine. More efficient sometimes in these scenarios, if you can spot it, is the lowest common multiple. Now that is more doable when we've got numbers on our denominator such as 6 and 2, or I might have 6x and 2x. Not always possible to see easily though, so just be aware. The other way of doing that is saying, hang on a sec, both of those go into 6, 2 and 6 both go into 6. So I could have actually done, kept this 5x plus 6 the same. I've done, how do I get 2 to be 6? Well, I times that by 3, so I need to multiply all of this by 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1 is 3, and that's a minus. And then I can just put those two together, so that will be 8x minus 3. So again, another way to get what is the same answer. So just be aware, lowest common multiple still does have its place, but both methods work. Press pause and then complete the independent work. Then press play and I will reveal the answers. Tick or trash. Read the task below. Press pause and identify which of the 3 solutions is correct. Press play and I'll let you know if you are right. This is the plenary for today's lesson. Press pause and have a go at the task. Then press play and I'll do the task with you. Here's a rectangle, all dimensions are in centimetres. The area of the rectangle is 35 centimetres squared. Work out the value of x. So we recall that the area of a rectangle, we just do length times width, so we'll just multiply those two together. So 2x plus 1 multiply x plus 2. Get an expression for the area. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. That's positive. 1 times x is 1x. 1 times 2 is 2. So that's 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Now we're told that the area is 33. This is because we've multiplied these together, that's an expression for the area, so this must equal 35. Now we need to solve a quadratic, we need to make it equal to 0, so what I'm going to do is take away 35 from both sides. So we're going to get 2x squared plus 5x. 2 take away 35 is minus 33 equals 0. Okay, now we can solve that. 2 times 33 is 66. So I've got 1 and 66, 2 and so that's 66 there. 2 and 33. 3 times 22. 4 no, 5 no, 6 times 11. 7 no, 8 no, 9 no, 10 no, we're back to 11. So what can I give it to make 5? I think that'll be the 6 and the 11. Okay, and we do our check. So 11 take away 6 is 5. 11 times minus 6 is minus 66. Was it minus 66? 2 times minus 33. It was important to do that, wasn't it? And note it was minus 66. So that check works. So my 2x squared falls down. My 33 falls down. That's equal to 0. And my 5x gets split up. Remember, it's easier if I go the negative on the left. So I've got minus 6 plus 11. Let's spread that out again and factorize. So 2x squared minus 6x, oops, 6x plus 11x minus 33. I'll box that up like so. What goes into both sides? 2x. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 3 is minus 6. Box up the other one. So what goes into both? That's clearly going to be 11. 11 times x is 11x. 11 times 3 is 33. So now I can put that in my bracket. So I've got 2x bracket x minus 3 plus 11 bracket x minus 3. We know this is the same. So I've got x minus 3, and then I've got my other one, 2x plus 11. And we recall that is equal to 0. Now I need to solve here. I'll just make that equal to 0. Okay, I suggest that you use several pages so you can keep all your working really neat. We've got two solutions. I've got x minus 3 equals 0. Now the opposite to minus 3 is plus 3. So add 3 to both sides. So one solution is x is equal to 3. And then my other solution I've got, and I'll just put this up here because I've got room, 2x plus 11 equals 0. Opposite of plus 11 is minus. And then I've got 2x equals minus 11, divide by 2, divide by 2. So I've got x, I've got my two answers are x equals 11 divided by 2 is minus 5.5, and my other one was x equals 3. Now this is really important. This is a shape. If I substitute minus 5.5 in there, that length would be negative. So I can't take this minus 5.5 as a solution because it's nonsensical. My lengths have to be positive. So normally I would put and, but that's not the case here. And my only answer is x is equal to 3. Let's just write that out a little bit neater. And that is my final answer. Cannot take the negative value. Well done for completing today's main lesson. You are now ready to try the problem solving video and the higher extension video that go alongside this lesson.